I'm back. Normally, since I use black paper, I would probably use black ink, but I don't have any here, so I'm just going to use my Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress ink. And I don't know if that lighting is too much, I hope not. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the edges. And since this is really not a process or a tutorial, I guess I don't really have to explain to you everything that I'm doing. I mean, I don't mind doing it, and obviously if you have questions or want to know, I will tell you. I guess that's the IT nerd in me. That's how I handle my clients too. I try to teach them all I can about their IT, you know, as long as it's not too much, you know. Some people, and I understand this, but some people glaze over. I have one client, he's so funny. He will interrupt me. I mean, like, I'll be into like the fourth word, and he'll go, okay, just do it. He does not want to know. He's so funny because, you know, if something happens, he'll be like, oh, what the heck happened, you know? What's going on? And I'll start to explain it, and he'll go, oh, okay, just take care of it. He doesn't really want to know. It's like my husband says, I don't really want to know how to make the sausage. I just want to eat it. So they just want their stuff to work, and I get that. And I'm the same way, honestly, I tell you. When I got into IT, I didn't really get into IT because I was just this typical IT person, whatever that is. I worked for a company. I started out doing receptionist work, and then I fell back into the into the service area. I was doing some of the service logistics stuff, and I couldn't get the application that I worked with to work, so I'd get so frustrated. And I would stay there all night long, and I would cry, you know. Oh, you know what? Our battery juice is low. I might have to try to figure that out. Let's see. Is it? Yep. Okay. Okay, this should be interesting. So not only do I have my iPad rigged above me, I had to have power to it, so it looks really interesting. I mean, it's pretty clever, I guess, but I don't know. It's probably a fire hazard. Anyway, so I was saying before I ran out of hard drive space and battery power all at the same time. Well, so I just would get frustrated at this application, and I would make them show me, I wonder what that means. Sorry, it's the new runner. Is it out? I can't tell. It kind of looks like it is, but it looks like there's still a lot of tape on there. Interesting, y'all. Oh boy, I should have brought my, let's see. Okay, you gotta push down harder. Okay. Anyway, so I would tell them I would ask them to show me how to fix it. Uh-oh, I got on the edge. And, you know, versus fixing it for me after a while. And that's kind of how I fell into IT. That, and I was the logistics coordinator for a technician, and he was really overwhelmed. So they all kind of taught me, he taught me, and some other techs that I worked with taught me how to work on computers, basically. That was in 1996, but anyway, so I forget what it was so long ago, I forget what sparked that whole conversation, but anyway. Oh, I guess it was about me, you know, that this is not a tutorial. It's just really a process video. We can craft together. Alright, so I'm just going to make sure that I have enough on all sides. Let's see, there's a little bit. That tape's a little tricky, boy, I tell you. A little tricky, but looks like it might be okay. Boy, if y'all have a trick for that, let me know what that is. If there is this magic eraser, I probably should just Google it. But you know what though? It's just, it is not my ATG gun, so I'm just really not that interested in knowing that much more about it. That's horrible, isn't it? That's terrible. Anyway, I'm sure it works very well in some applications. Yeah, alright, so there's the first page. That lighting may be way too much. Okay. Alright, on to the second page. And I already inked the edges, so we are good to go there. Alright, so my husband is out of town. I know I probably shouldn't say that on the internet, but hopefully nobody knows where I am. And y'all I don't mind, the people I trust. But anyway, that was probably a little TMI there, huh? He does seem to travel a lot due to his job. So, pretty much before I started crafting a lot, I just really just worked. And well, you know, plus we have this house and we have had a lot of work to do on this house over the years, so a lot of stuff to do. And I tell you, I can't say that I don't really have anything to do, because when I'm not, you know, working or whatever, I should be cleaning this beast. This house is like, oh, it's, to me, oh, see, look out there. This house is a little hard for me. It's just a lot of dust. But you know, we have a lot of construction, so I guess that goes along with it. One day we'll be done with the construction. We've been here for 4 years, and we've been working on it an entire time. We have a friend of ours who does a lot of our work for us. He's here probably more than he is at home. And his wife is wonderful. She lets him do it. I don't know how, but she does. They actually own a bait shop not far from us. And so she usually, when he's out here working, she's usually working in the bait shop. They're really nice people too. We were really lucky to meet them. When we first moved here, all of our furniture was in storage. We didn't even really know where we were going to live. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's make sure this is right. Yeah, we didn't even know where we were going to live. We had a phone call into a real estate person because we were going to buy this house. It was for sale and everything was really slow moving on it. The woman that lived here before, or owned the house rather, she didn't live here. She was a real emotional seller. It was really her husband's house. And he would come here and fish and just hang out with. And then he had friends. Oh, I hate when I do that. He had friends in the neighborhood. They would sit on the pier and drink scotch and just, I guess, party. I don't know. I mean, that's what I took from it. I think they partied a lot. But he passed away probably 10 or 15 years ago. And so this was really more of a second or a summer home. I think they had a few homes actually, but when he passed away, his wife would come up here occasionally, and I think she would bring her grandchildren or whatever, but they didn't really stay here. The house was just dilapidated. It was falling apart. It's 100 years old. It had so much termite damage. It's a special thing when you buy a 100-year-old home, let me tell you. It will either probably make or break your relationship if you're in a relationship. It actually made mine and my husband's. We actually liked working on the house, so and we loved the house so much. We both had the same desire to fix it and to restore it back to its original glory. But anyway, so I'm done with the front covers. I need a little bit of something to drink because I'm parched. But so now we're going to work on the inside. I always like to mentally go through them and just decide which one's going to be my first book. I always put my favorite cover in the front. I really like the birds. And I like that one. Well, I like them all, but alright, so we're gonna do color, not so much color, color, and color. Alright, so I think that's our order. So whatever this page is, it has to match with these pages, and it needs to match with those pages. And since that is a solo page, it can be a little wild, I think. And then this one will be kind of not wild. We do have a bird on the front, so cages make good sense. Okay. Alright. But anyway, so the house was just, it was just crazy, but it was just so beautiful. It was just, we found it on the internet, believe it or not, and we loved it so much. Y'all, it needs so much work. I can't even tell you how much work it needed. I mean, if you ever buy, or if you've owned, you know what I'm talking about, or if you own an old house and try to restore it, it is a lot of work, a lot of energy, and a lot of money. A whole lot of money. I mean, just to give you an idea, this house was an 8-bedroom house when it started out, and the rooms were not small by any means, so it didn't have any working heat, and the old heating system in here had asbestos, so we had to have an asbestos abatement, which is always fun and super expensive. And then so we had to have heat put in, which was crazy. We have like 4 heaters, and I don't even know, it's a ridiculous. We have like air pumps or heat pumps and central units, and I don't know, it's a crazy number. I can't even tell you. And if one of them was working, I mean, I couldn't even tell you how to even look to see if what's wrong with it. But we had to replace the water pump because we have water. We have well water. And once we replaced it, there was apparently a crack in it. I say we replaced the water pump. It was in the original location, but we had to replace all of the mechanical stuff. And then, oh look, this has got blue on the back side. Sorry, ADHD. I don't know about that blue there. I'm not sure about that. So we had to replace all of that. And then there was a crack, and then we had to redig. Y'all, it's like the money pit. If you've ever seen that movie, that's it. But we loved it so much, so we were prepared for it, so it was all fine. We didn't really, I don't think, now I would say digging that second well was not in our plans. But it certainly fit our budget, but it was interesting. I'll never forget, because I was taking a shower and all of a sudden the water stopped. I had shampoo in my hair, but oh, it was horrible for a minute. But the things you do when you are renovating, if you call it that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's what we pretty much did, was renovate. Okay, so I'm okay with that. There is a little bit of a contrast with the tape, but I don't mind that actually. Actually, it really pulls out the black, so I'm good with that. It just kind of makes it pop, actually. Alright, so anyway, I forget where I was going with that whole conversation, but oh, that I have plenty to do, yeah, so there's a lot of dusting to do, and cleaning of all kinds. I didn't really think about that when we bought this house. So, I'd rather craft. But I guess that's the way it goes. But we fell in love with this house. We looked at this house for 6 months online in Ohio. And they didn't really give you a lot of information online. We just knew what the square footage was. We could see it through Google Earth or whatever. So we would sit there and try to draw out the floor plan, you know, try to figure it all out. Oh, my battery doesn't seem to be charging for some strange unknown reason. I wonder why. Let's see if I mess with it. Sorry, y'all are gonna get seasick. Alright, well, we'll go for as long as we can. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pause it for a moment and just check it and see what it looks like. Technically, it should be charging, so we'll probably, hopefully, run out of drive space before we run out of power, probably. But yeah, so this was definitely our dream home. Definitely so. But the only problem is, and all y'all are going to understand this, is that we have three spare bedrooms, and they're kind of they're for Greg's kids when they come to visit. I'm out of tape. Well, that's cool. Y'all get to see how easy this thing is to replace. But so I don't really have a craft room, and I don't know where I'm going to put it. So that's kind of why I'm working in the kitchen. It's tough. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I'll be right back when I grab some tape. Unfortunately, if I bought the right tape, I want it to be the wrong tape. It looks like it's the right tape. I ordered it online, so we'll see. It looks different. It's not blue. And normally I like to try to pay attention when I pull these things out. I think this is the right way. Yeah, okay. Well, that was certainly easier than ATG. ATG is, you know how that is. If you have one of those, it can be a little, you know, hard to, oh, that roll's rolling much better. It's noisy though. Interesting. You know what? And the tape, why does it look thinner? Alright, what's going on here? It is thinner. Oh, interesting. So it has 100 feet, but it's thinner, so it's gonna probably be needing to be replaced sooner. All right. Yeah, I don't mind that it's different. I think it's interesting. So yeah, so this house, oh my gosh, y'all, it was crazy. There was, they had tried to hide a lot of the stuff that was wrong with the house. And really, we saw it all before we ended up buying it. But, I mean, but it was kind of interesting how it appeared to be disguised. But the woman, you know, when she sold it, it was as is. So there was no going back and saying, well, we'll buy it if you yada, yada, yada. Nope, none of that. She wouldn't even consider selling it if you even had that in your mind. So we just tried to get it bought and get moved in as quickly as possible, really. Which was not very quick, because it took about 6 months to get it. Well, I say it wasn't quick, but it was probably quicker than some situations. It took about 6 months to get in here. Yeah, so I like that so far. It's cute so far. Alright. And I'm probably going to have to go to Joann, so we might not finish this. I mean, I think I might need some special embellishments. You know, I don't know if I have the right embellishments yet. I didn't get that far in my thinking. Alright, so I need something different. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Yeah, so I could go kind of plain here and then put something a little more, maybe that. We'll try it. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, so I'll probably be making a trip to Joann's this weekend. I need my numbers. I hope this is not inappropriate, but I have number dyslexia. I swear I do. I do not remember numbers in the right order ever. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm that way. I think it's just because my buffer's full. I don't have enough memory left over. So after work, it kind of drains me. 434 or 4 3/4 rather. I went a little longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that down. I want that to be 7. So it'll go in there nicely. Oops. Apparently I don't like to go all the way to the top there. Okay. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. Okay. Alright. Nope. Not feeling that. Not feeling that either. So I'm thinking, what I normally do, like this one, 2 pockets are side by side. I usually go with, and I say I usually, but I have this train of thought where I think that maybe whatever's here is here, whatever's here is here. And you know what, this is actually really close to this. And I'm not sure I'm feeling that close. I think I want to move it away because it's too similar. I mean, not that that really matters, really. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking that maybe that ought to be over there. And maybe, you know what, maybe, we have newsprint here too. These colors are very neutral. You would think neutral colors would be super easy, but I'm actually finding it a little difficult. I really wish that was long enough. That would be really cute there. But it's not quite long enough. I mean, I guess technically it could be. Why couldn't it be, right? Alright, let's try that. Okay. 4 3/4. So anyway, I can't remember numbers. Like if you give me a phone number, I probably can't remember it. Can't remember measurements. Can't remember times. I don't know if that's a scientific term, dyslexia, because I remember them in the wrong order, but really that's just saying that I don't remember them at all. Right? I don't know. Who knows? I have nothing. My dog is barking. I'm not sure what that's all about. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 7. Alright, because it's a pocket page. It's going to look a little different, but I'm willing to try to work with it. Let's see what we get. Let's get that out of the way. Interesting. So what if we switch it? I mean, that might be good. Now see, the paper's almost too small. But you know what though? I might almost use it. I mean, it's a perfect, oh wait a minute, here, this might work too. Although it would probably be better to use this. Oh, but look, we only have to cut one side if we use this. Wow, it's so neutral, but I'm guessing that, let's see, 4 3/4. We can actually, 2 3/4. We can actually use embellishments and that kind of thing to make it more vibrant. Let's see, how are we feeling about that? Almost. Okay. 2 3/4. I know what it is. My neighbor next door, they got a new dog. Their granddaughter got a dog. And she couldn't, I think she moved or something and couldn't take it with her. So now the dog is living next door. And he always runs off. So he always comes over here for my dogs. Well, I'm going to go quieten her down and make sure that my neighbor's dog doesn't need assistance. But this is what I've got so far. I mean, it's pretty neutral, but we also have this right here, which may add a pop of color also when that's going to be the last thing that we do. And we'll get to that when we get to that. But I think it looks okay. All right, I'll be back.